What's going on, everybody? WTIM here. I am your host, Tad Al. So, you see, I got my mic and everything going now. So, we actually are up and running. I have to figure out my little sound card here. Got to figure all that out. I'm not, my kids, they showing me some things. But anyway, we're going to jump right in on this. Listen, people, like and subscribe my channel for me. We have topics, all the time for you. We're gonna talk about them. We're gonna get to it. So uh, anytime you want to comment, I'm gonna answer. We're gonna get to this thing. So uh, today is what happened to the service. That's what we're talking about today. We are finding more situations where there's more violence in the workplace. Uh, People have more attitudes now today. Not only that, a lot of machines are starting to take over a lot of jobs. But the main thing I found is that we're looking at more and more people who are getting jobs today that are more so just trying to pay the bills. It's not about them really liking the job. You know, they don't. It's more about them just trying to find work. You can't fault a lot of people, but at the end of the day, this is why you have a lot more people being, more rude, in a lot of places. Um, Customer service is not really that great. You have people that are serving you who really don't want to be there, but because it is money, this is what our nation is turning to. COVID hasn't made it any better. Now everybody wants to use COVID as an excuse for everything. We COVID, we're not opening because of COVID. We're closing early because of COVID. Walmart used to be 24 hours. Walmart now closes at 11 p.m., and opens back up at, I believe it's 7 a.m. in the morning now. You can't depend on Walmart anymore throughout the night. A lot of places are shut down, after, a certain time. Most stores have closed earlier. A lot of stores closed down. So, because of the problems that we've had, people are really just trying to make it from one day to the next. And I get that. But does that mean you have to be rude to the people that you're supposed to be serving? Does that mean, you purposely, I wouldn't say purposely, are late, but you didn't try to stop it, and I remember, nurses, they used to really take care of you. They had a passion for your comfort, the hospitality uh, fields. It's you got more and more sleazy hotels going up, and people are there just doing everything, just trying to make a buck. I remember when I was looking for a place to stay when I first moved to Florida, and I ran into about 30 or 40 scams. People are using that and your need to find somewhere. They're using that to make money off of you. And I mean, like if I didn't have the people in my corner that I had in my corner, I would have lost out, on thousands of dollars. Because they were wanting to, and there's really no shame anymore in what a lot of people are doing. I was at a gas station, a Pilot, a truck stop. And like I saw over in West Palm Beach, I believe it was. And this lady, she was just so nasty. to another customer. And she was like, like, hey, he coming at me, I'll get at him, and I'm like, wow, like, and then the manager literally stood there at the pilot, I believe it was on, I want to say that was 27, US 27 that was on. Was that 27? It was West Palm Beach. But anyhow, like she didn't have any shame, and coming at the people, coming at the guy the way she did. People are murdering other coworkers. I mean, this is what it's getting to, and it's again, like I said, it's happening because people, they're not really there because they like what they do. They're there because they're trying to earn money, but they're doing this stuff at our expense. They are, they're and then you're going home with a paycheck, and you were just rude to a lot of the customers. I mean, I've seen people that didn't even speak, when you walk into their establishment, and I mean, it's just things are changing, man. It wasn't like that, when I was growing up, even out there with the truckers, you find a lot of people trucking that they really don't know what they're doing, man. They are, and you can sit there and watch, you can tell, like when they pull in, if you just sit back and watch, you can say, hey, okay, this person's new, that person's new. My son is going to start driving the truck when he comes down here with me. And like I told him, I'm not going to start you off driving a truck, what I'm saying, with automatic restriction. They have this thing now called an automatic restriction where you're learning how to, uh, you are learning how to drive a semi truck with automatic trucks. So when you learn like that, it's an automatic restriction. I don't see how anybody would actually want to sit there and be in an automatic restriction. Why would you start something off with a restriction? Um, I don't get that. And like I told my son, I'm not gonna let you start off like that. Why would I let you start off with a restriction? No, we're not doing that right there. You're gonna learn how to drive in a manual. And the hard part about it is people are doing it, but you're not really learning how to control your truck. They get these automatics and they are uh, they are like uh, dependent on the truck to do everything for them. So when they're going on a downgrade, they're not controlling it. You'll see more and more, and you're seeing more and more accidents involving semi trucks. And that's not good. I mean, like, but this is what's happening. Another industry is, even construction industries. People are pulling right out in front of you now, like in these construction zones. Stopping traffic. They don't. When I was working with JB Hunt back in Georgia a while back, um, I saw a few times where they pulled trains out and had us sitting there. I took a whole nap waiting on the train, like over an hour, and they didn't even care. I mean, and trucks, cars, people were trying to get off work and go home, but they didn't care, and there's no concern for other people now in these workplaces. A lot of companies, they want you to get their job done. That's it. That's all. And a lot of them are treating you that way. They're not treat. Some people don't even know your name. That's some things that you might want to look at too when you go to a job. Like ask them. Well, not even ask them. Just go speak to somebody. Call them out by name. Like, hey, Rick, how you doing? And see if they say your name. See if they even know you. I mean, they might be familiar with you, but you know, I went to one job one time, and I mean, you could just tell like how the person was acting. I really don't think he liked Moorish people, or black people, should I say? Some of y'all don't understand that, but regardless, I don't think he liked it, like any of them. But and you could tell like the way he was talking, like and I had spoke to him, and he had said something, and I was like, hey, what was that? He said, no, don't worry about it. Have a good day. And I'm like, okay, I could have said something, but I don't get involved in a lot of those incidents and things like that anymore. I know me, and I think that's the biggest thing for most human beings is knowing yourself, knowing who you are, and then a lot of that you don't have to worry about. You can overlook it. A lot of times people they don't really know you. So, and because they don't know you, they act a certain way, they come at you a certain way, and that again, it's not something that should be a workplace practice, but like I said, even in that the pilot that I was at with a girl, I could not believe that situation with that girl. Like she was like literally in front of customers too. That was that up to me. I think that was what the worst thing about that situation was her doing it in front of customers, So I really had a problem with that. However, I mean, the manager was there. He didn't do a thing about it, Um, and I guess like as a manager, because with me doing my own thing, like as a manager, you have to know that even being sometimes people will try to get a worker in trouble. But, I was at Burlington Coat Factory. This is why I was in Georgia. And I got a few items, as I got the items, I take them up there. The girl, she was working the cash register. So she like starts wrapping my clothes up and put it in the bag. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, you just gonna roll them up and throw them in the bag? I'm like, can you like fold them? Like, and she had a real live attitude. Like she took them out the bag, slamming hangers. And I'm looking at her like, wow, it was the craziest thing. I was in awe about the situation. Like she was literally acting, that's how she was acting. I talked to the manager, and next thing I know, she said, oh yeah, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna have a word with her. And I'm like, okay, because she shouldn't even, if that's how she's gonna act with customers, because I hadn't done that to her. And I'm like, if that's how she's gonna act with customers, maybe she shouldn't be at the cash register. I mean, I get it, put her in the back. I mean, let her be upset back there. She can unpack some boxes because she sure wasn't packing the bags right, but you know, um, but this is what's going on. So I guess what's the resolution here? As I said before, you know yourself. And I know for me, like the young lady, I was upset about the situation, but I know me. I had a friend of mine with me that was there as well. So I walked away, let them handle it because I don't think I probably would have handled that in the right way. But these are things to think about, and keep in mind. Uh, I don't. I guess really I don't really know how me myself. I don't know how you would handle it or how to tell you to handle it. I mean, there's so many different situations going on now. Especially when it comes to the restaurants and the food. Like I was at Denny's and they did. I mean, man, there was a knife that was just oh my god, I don't even want to talk about it. Looked like somebody just spit tobacco on the knife. But And I'm glad because I ask for a glass of hot water anytime I go to a restaurant, so I can put my silverware in the hot water and let it, while I sit there and drink. I don't drink soda no more, but while I drink my drink or whatever, that's what I do. Um, but yeah, this is what we're dealing with. Again, just understand between COVID and then people not really wanting the jobs that they're applying for, that is why we are having these situations today. Um, and I mean, I guess I wish you luck, and I even hope you really don't go through these issues, But I guess what I would say is when somebody's acting that way, just ask them like, "Are you okay? Do you mind if I give you a hug?" Because a lot of times people they're just frustrated. They're frustrated with the job that they're working. Some people they want to quit. Some people they got kids at home. They have to be there to try to feed their children. And I get that it's not your problem, but I mean, you have bad days. I have bad days. I don't know if that's necessarily the case. That it's just a bad day, and I didn't even want to give that when I was at that Pilot gas station. I didn't want to give that girl a hug. I wanted to get away from her, and I really don't want to go back there because it was just. But anyhow, uh, I guess try to do a nice gesture, to somebody that's acting in that way. I mean, if it's you, if it's not you, just don't get involved. Buy your product and leave. like, So, but anyhow, that's what it is, people. Let's try to find a median there, bring the violence in the workplace down. So, I'm your host. I'm Tad Al. I'm out. Mwah.